Oh wait, necklace out or necklace in? I've had it in.
Necklace out.
What is up, Rad fam? Have you been battling whether or not you should ride clipless or flat pedals on your upcoming tour, or anytime really? Well, in today's video, we are going to share our top 5 reasons for
why we love riding in flats. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome back to the Rad Bike Adventure.
This is Ryan.
And this is Darren.
Thank you.
And together...
And oh shoot.
And together, we want to help you get confidently prepared to explore this world.
And your own backyard.
With your bicycle.
Let's get into it.
Indeed. Okay, pedals. Well, isn't this a hot button topic in the cycling community? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes it is. Just to get this out of the way, Darren and I have both ridden clipped in on road and mountain respectively. So we do have experience riding clipped in and we do know what that feels like. Mm-hmm. Something else that we need to get out of the way is that everyone is different and you can ride however you would like to. This is just our reasons for wanting to ride on flat pedals while we cycle tour. I mean, just because we love riding on flat pedals and we do think that it's better for touring.
I don't think it's better. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to.
Should I just have this come like floating in on a string? There's our effects. Pretend this is floating. Can I do that? I also do want to say that I really don't like the notion of people saying that you're not a real cyclist unless you ride clipped in. I mean, we've had this experience on tour where people like cannot believe that we are riding flat pedals and they're like, oh, you'll see, like once you graduate to become a real cyclist, you'll want to be clipped in and upgrade to buy those clipless pedals.
Honestly, I don't think it's an upgrade. I think it's a wrong choice.
For some people.
Yeah, for what the style of cycle touring we're doing, clipped in just doesn't make sense.
No, and now we're gonna tell you why we think that. Here we go, top 5 reasons. Number 1, man, this is such a big one. And it's so important when you're cycle touring long miles, which is usually what's happening when you're cycle touring. Mm-hmm. Or you're spending your day cycling, because that's what your trip is. And that number 1 is gonna be comfort. You just cannot deny, at least for me, and I know you feel that way, and we've talked to a lot of other people who just say they feel much more comfortable riding on flats.
It is. You're not clipped into something. You're not wearing a hard shoe. It's more comfortable because you can move your foot around.
Right.
You can adjust. If you're clipped in, you're stuck in that position that you've set that clip into. I mean, you can get off your bike and adjust the platform some, but you're still gonna be...
Oh, but that would be a pain in the butt, wouldn't it?
It'd be such a pain in the butt. So, that doesn't make sense. And you're stuck in that same spot the whole day. The shoe itself is heavy, and the pedal is heavy. And so as I'm doing my pedal stroke, it puts tension on my knees. I've tried other positions, but honestly, that pull motion when you're pulling back up does put tension on your patellar tendon. I feel like it hurts. It's way more comfortable for myself to do a platform.
Yeah. And I just like to be able to make micro adjustments on the fly. You can move your foot around, you can move up or to the side a little bit, just depending on what you're feeling. I mean, sometimes I'll even put my foot, more towards the heel if I just want to stretch out a little bit. So number 1, definitely comfort. I think flat pedals win in the comfort, especially in those long hours in the saddle, no doubt.
All right, which brings us to number 2, and it's the ability to hop on and off your bike. You're on a bicycle tour. You're gonna see something awesome. You're gonna be hungry. You're gonna wanna say hi to someone. You're gonna wanna hike up that waterfall. And wouldn't it be nice to just
hike up the waterfall?
And you're gonna wanna hike up to that waterfall. And you're gonna be able to do that because you have the same shoes on that you can do all those activities with. But
I cycled a lot of our tour,
cycling.
Our winter cycling part of our tour in a shoe like this, and it was great. I could just hop off, go for a hike if I wanted to, go into town, go out to dinner. If you're trying to wear one of these shoes clomping around, and they're made to be on a bike. They're not meant to be walking around. Or if you have to hike a bike.
And these are mountain ones, but they're still pretty hard.
Yeah, but this is not
no, it's not comfortable.
This is not comfortable if you had to hike through some shirt. For warmer weather, I like going sandal, and once again, you can just
and they have firmer sandals too. This does have flex, but it's thicker and slightly firmer. Yeah. So they are making firmer sandals.
Totes. Segueing into number 3, which is you can choose whatever shoe or sandal that you want. You just have unlimited options because It's just a platform and you can put any shoe on it.
You could ride in a boot. You could ride in a running shoe. You could ride in a sandal. It doesn't matter. It can be the shoe you already have. If it's comfortable, now you can use it. You don't have to buy an extra piece of equipment.
Some people might think these little spikies are gonna rip holes in your shoes. And I mean, they do cause wear.
But you can adjust them to not be as prominent.
Yeah, so you can make those go down a little bit more, and even with a shoe like this that is definitely not made to go on pedals like these, I found it absolutely fine. I mean, are they gonna last 5 years? Probably not, but what shoes that you take on a tour are gonna last 5 years?
No.
That's my question. All right, before we get into our last 2 reasons why we love riding in flat pedals, if you are getting value out of this video, if you would just hit that thumbs up, that would be awesome. It really helps the video and we super appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more content like this to help you get prepared for your own cycle tour or bikepacking trip, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We've also got some little extras to share with you too. We've got some bonus tips and we're gonna show you our favorite pedals that we use on our trip around the world, so do stay tuned.
Stick around.
All right, number 4. Darren, what is it?
My favorite.
Your favorite.
Less stuff. It's less to carry. You don't have to have extra equipment. You have it. It's yours. Now you're carrying these heavy pedal shoes? No. If you can have one shoe that does it all, yes. And then at the most, maybe some camp sandals or shower sandals if you want.
Right? Just simplicity.
Simplicity. That's what you want on a bicycle tour. Simplicity and multi-use. If I say if something doesn't have more than one use, don't take it.
One pair of shoes to rule them all. And the ones that you like and that are comfortable. They don't have to be special. Our number 5, but not the last, because we do have some extra stuff for you guys.
Last one
Number 5.
is it's not a race. This is a cycle tour. If it is a race, then you're on the wrong channel and this is the wrong video.
Although it would be kind of fun to do a race. Darren's not interested. I'm kind of interested. But even if I did, I probably wouldn't go clipped in.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you just like look at the shoe in general, usually the shoes look something like this. Not always. I mean, these are a little wider, but they do tend to be more narrow and kind of more aerodynamic, so to speak.
For racing. You're on a cycle tour. It's more than just riding your bike. You're there to explore the world. So you're gonna get off the bike and it just makes so much more sense to have a shoe or a sandal that you can do that with.
We seem like really passionate about this.
I'm pretty passionate.
I mean, honestly, if you want to ride clipped in, go for it, but
I think the passion is because of how many people are so pro clipped in and they're just flabbergasted by not doing it.
Right.
Because they think it's so efficient.
Right. This is part of number 5, is that a lot of that science that says that it's super efficient or that you're getting all of this power pulling up, it's kind of getting debunked recently, and that it's not actually that efficient, especially if you're not like an ultra pro, a professional cyclist who has like dialed in their pedal stroke. You're probably not going to get more efficiency, and actually it could be less, because they're saying that if you push down on the downstroke harder, which you usually tend to do when you're wearing flats, there is plenty of power for it to come back up. And that's actually more efficient than trying to like push, pull, push, pull.
There's probably some drag with the pull.
Exactly. Yeah, and there is a risk too. There's more injuries reported with being clipped in because it is harder to get out. I mean, you can get out, but it's definitely more difficult. And again, kind of seeing some of the research say that there's more hip injuries because of that. When people fall over, they can't get out of their clipped in shoesies.
So they can't do a tumble if you're clipped in.
So boom, take that. All right, so now we're into the bonuses. This is our number 6 reason for loving flat pedals, and that is that it's just more accessible. More people will be willing to jump on a bike and go on a bike tour, I think, if they see more people riding on flat pedals. But it is definitely a barrier for some people to get into cycling. When I worked in a bike shop, there was a lot of folks who would come in and be like, oh, no, I don't want to be like attached to my bike. That's way too scary. And so they were more hesitant to even buy a road bike because of that, or a touring bike, because they thought like, oh, I have to get those crazy pedals. And it's more money to spend. Like, you have to get the special shoes, And so for me, I just like that it makes it a little bit more accessible to anybody. Heck, if you just have a regular old platform pedal that has a few bumps in it, you should be fine. The only thing I would say not to use is the ones that are like completely slick.
Yeah.
And I know that we are just like ranting on and on about how we really don't like being clipped in, but this isn't the case. There are times when I love being clipped in. Like, I love riding around the city being clipped in. Like, there is a certain connectedness to the bike feeling that you get when you're clipped in. But for touring, I just think not a chance. Not a chance. I just want to be able to hop off my bike. I want to have comfort all day long. I want to be able to adjust my body if I'm feeling kind of little aches and pains in my knees or my ankles or my hips or my feet. And to me, that means riding on the flats. Okay, so we also mentioned that we are going to show you our favorite pedals that we use for cycling around the world. Well, here they are. I mean, we've kind of given you a little preview throughout the video, but I do have some brand new ones. These are my Race Face Chester pedals. Nothing wrong with my old ones. Just wanted to get some fresh guys for my new Sutra build that I'm doing. These have been great for our trip. Darren had a similar pedal. It wasn't exactly...
I had a little bit of a knockoff. It was a knockoff composite platform pedal, and it worked just fine.
Yeah, I think you got it on AliExpress.
I got it
or something.
AliExpress when we were in China, and they were totally fine because I was so jealous of your platforms.
We'll have links to our pedals in the description down below, so if you would like to purchase some of those for yourself, go ahead. And hey, if you liked that video, you should give it a thumbs up. I mean, you've been here this long. Come on.
You should subscribe. You watched the entire video. You obviously like us. Give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't you want to keep seeing this beautiful
what Darren
face?
said. Yeah, do you ride flat pedals? Oh my god. Platform? What are you, 12 years old?
Oh, are you a mountain biker?
You should be a real cyclist and get clipped in. That's what the real roadies do. That's what the real mountain bikers do. That's what the real cycle tourists do.